Anywho, back to cryptocurrency. So Satoshi, or a sat, smallest unit of a Bitcoin. So I think it is 100 millionth of a Bitcoin is what that is. It's a lot of zeros. You can Google it, but I'm pretty sure it's 100 millionth of a Bitcoin. So yeah, like, just because Bitcoin is, $59,000 today doesn't mean you have to buy $59,000 worth of Bitcoin. You can buy any fraction you want. Like, usually $1 is the minimum. So, you could buy $5, $10, $20. But I will say this: one, I am not a financial advisor, and so none of this is financial advice. If you're thinking about investing in a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, I would tell you to be absolutely sure that if that money that you put into that investment went to zero tomorrow, you would be okay. Because you'd never want to invest money that you need to pay your rent or buy your groceries, put gas in your car. Cryptocurrency is volatile, and that's kind of, I think, the attraction to it. Like, it goes up, it goes down. It's kind of a gamble, but because there's a finite amount of Bitcoin, and that is the largest cryptocurrency, the one that's basically paved the way for all the others to come. But it's a finite supply, so you have a set amount, and once the code and the years and time goes by and there's no more to be minted, that's it. So it's not like a US dollar, where if we have $1 trillion in debt, which we have over 3 trillion as a country, we just want to turn on the money printer, the FOMC decides a lot of different things, and who knows what our government will do next, but we'll see. I think Scott Warsh was recently put into the spot that Jerome Powell just left. So if you follow finance at all, you might know those names. And the FOMC is the Federal Open Market Committee. But they adjust basically inflation rates, so interest rates up, down at various meetings. So the US dollar is not finite, it's infinite. It could be printed and printed and printed. So what does that mean? Well, it means if you have $1 today, in 10 years, or even in a year, or maybe even in a month with the way things are going, your dollar's not going to have as much purchasing power, meaning what you can get today for that dollar will equal to less in the future. So your dollar loses value over time. And with Bitcoin, the idea is that it is finite, so it's a limited supply. We can't create any more once the final Bitcoin is minted, and that's it. So over time, it should increase in value, just as with anything else. So maybe today, what one Bitcoin will buy you today will buy you a whole lot more in 3-4 years. So just a little perspective. But again, any investment, especially cryptocurrencies, it's risky. So just make sure you do your own research and never invest anything that you cannot afford to lose, because because that is very possible that that could happen. And I mean, I could talk about cryptocurrency for a whole entire video, but a lot of things could happen. So anyways, the name, the Wandering Satoshi, kind of just is a nod to the creator or creators of Bitcoin. So there's that. But yeah, I've held Bitcoin before and I've sold it, as well as, you know, Ethereum, Dogecoin, XRP, Link, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, or some other good ones. AVAX. I mean, I've invested in a lot of different ones over time, and just kind of depending on which ones are kind of looking pretty and shiny. Sometimes they kind of have what people call a pump, and then followed by a dump. You know, buy the rumor, sell the news kind of thing. But I think long term, it's not a bad idea to have a little bit of money in, you know, at the very least Bitcoin. It is considered digital gold, so gold is not quite finite, but kind of is. Like, we never know if we're going to discover more here on our planet. You know, tomorrow somebody could unearth or discover some new gold. So that supply is not finite, whereas Bitcoin is digital, and it's in its code that it will never produce more than what's written. So something, just another thought. And like Ethereum is probably one of my second favorites, and then followed by like Solana. So those ones have kind of been around, they've stood the test for a while, but I definitely don't have very much. I mostly sold everything so that I could pay off my student loans at the end of 2025. Feels really good to have those paid off. And so, just like I said, if you want to put something into cryptocurrency as an investment, just use caution and make sure, you know, if it's a lot of money to you, then just remember that it could all be gone and go down to zero for a few different reasons. But I don't expect that that would happen, but you know, I can't predict the future. Nobody has a crystal ball. But essentially, Bitcoin right now, according to Google's AI overview, has a circulating supply of approximately 20.05 million out of a strict hard-coded maximum supply cap of 21 million. So that means over 95% of all the Bitcoin that will ever exist has already been minted, leaving less than 1 million Bitcoin left to be mined through the year 2140. So just a little bit more information for you. Because I don't know how much people know about cryptocurrency or Bitcoin, but that's just me talking about another interest of mine, and also it's kind of work related. So I mean, we're not investing in crypto at work, but we're investigating what people are doing with those digital assets. Let's see, there's a lot of scams out there. I could do a whole video about scams too. But I'll do a different video about scams, and how to keep yourself safe and your loved ones safe. But As far as like holding your cryptocurrency, one thing I will say is I have left cryptocurrency on an exchange before, and an exchange is just the place that you buy it. So like an example would be Robinhood or Coinbase. So if you buy it there, you can just leave it in your Coinbase account and it's there, it's yours. But technically, digital assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum and all the others have wallets that they're held in, and those wallets have private keys. Private keys are usually like a 20, well, take that back. They vary in the number of words that are in what's called a seed phrase. So that's essentially like maybe, I don't want to get too into the weeds, not to be punny here, but essentially you can leave your money on an exchange like Robinhood or Coinbase, and that's fine. They're keeping it for you. But if for some reason your password to your Robinhood or your Coinbase account gets compromised, maybe let's say your email that's connected to Coinbase, you use that email in 10 places, one of those 10 places got hacked. Now you've got people trying to get into anything and everything that might be associated to that email address, including potentially a Coinbase account or Robinhood. So if that same email is associated to that Coinbase account and they've got access to your email, they can probably ask Coinbase to reset your password from that email address and potentially send or withdraw your cryptocurrency to their own wallet or another exchange's wallet that they have access to. So the other thing is, like, if an exchange for some reason something bad happens, like they loan money out to like maybe they do a high-risk loan like Voyager. You've heard of Voyager? They went bankrupt, so they used their depositors' funds and loaned them out to Three Arrows Capital, and they weren't able to pay the depositors back, so they had to file bankruptcy, and still haven't paid everyone and made them whole. So I think there's been 2 payments distributed and they're still trying to do like some clawbacks with like FTX and Three Arrows Capital, all that jazz. So there is a little bit more risk if you leave your money on an exchange, because like if they're not doing everything they should be to keep their own platform safe and secure and make sure they're not making bad investments, they could go under, and then they could freeze your funds, and then you may or may not get all of them back. So you could, instead of leaving them on Coinbase.com, you could do a couple of different things. You could, the easiest that you could do is just go to your either your Apple App Store or your Google Play Store, and you could download one of the cryptocurrency wallets. Like you could download Phantom, Trust Wallet, MetaMask. There's quite a few different options out there. I think there's like Exodus. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ones that are out there that are free that you can download, and then you get your seed phrase, which you never ever share that seed phrase with anyone, not even if they claim to be from like the wallet company that you're using, like Trust Wallet or MetaMask or whatever. That seed phrase is essentially the keys to your coins. So if you've heard not your keys, not your cheese, or not your keys, not your coins, that's kind of what that means. So that seed phrase of like 12 or 16 words or however many words that they give you for your digital wallet, which is also a hot wallet. It's connected to the internet. You want to write that down. Make sure you write it down in the order that it gives it to you, because if for some reason you ever need to like restore that wallet, maybe you lose a phone so you need to get a new one. If you want to restore that wallet, whether it's Trust Wallet or Phantom, you need that seed phrase for your funds to be available and show back up. So you would have to type each word exactly in the order that it was given to you when the wallet was created. So like maybe your seed phrase is like apple, orange, pineapple, watermelon, lemon. If that was your entire seed phrase, that's the only order that you can enter those in. They have to be spelled correctly, and then you would have access to that wallet, which again is why you never ever want to share that with anyone, unless it might be like your spouse that you absolutely trust with your life. But yeah, that's just a big no-no. So also beware of like emails, text messages, phone calls. It's like smishing, phishing, vishing. It's just fraudsters trying to see if you can give up passcodes, like 5 or 6 digit passcodes to your phone, or your seed phrase, passwords. So just never give any information to anyone who reaches out to you. It's always just best to do your own research and reach out to financial institutions on your own. Don't respond if they reach out to you. So it's just my little soapbox. But anyways, that is just a little bit about cryptocurrency and keeping it in a hot wallet. Maybe on our next adventure I'll talk about cold wallets, cold storage, which is usually just purchasing a physical storage device that basically never exposes your seed phrase to the internet. So Ledger and Tangent, those would be examples of that. But it's been fun, guys. I hope you enjoyed this walk. Please leave a comment if you watched this and you enjoyed it, and please like and subscribe. If you really love the video, you even have an option to contribute a small donation through the link called Buy Me a Coffee. So it's buymeacoffee.com. That link will be in my video description. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks again for watching, and until next time.